Welcome to Centrist Radicals with Captain Kevin and Rocket Rob, where common sense and common ground are radical ideas.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Centrist Radicals show. I'm your host, Captain Kev, got Rocket Rob with me, and a special guest here today. I can't wait for you to meet him. His name's Jacob. Jacob has been fighting the good fight out there. He has been attending city council meetings. He's been talking to his representatives. He's been out there in the community working with good folks that also like privacy, that don't like the violation of the Fourth Amendment, and don't like the sense that we're falling into a strange little security state all of a sudden that nobody asked for and nobody voted for. So what are we talking about? Take a look at these clips.
Being watched by nearly 120,000 automated license plate readers. One company even scans more than 80 billion cars a month.
Okay, how come no one is talking about this with flock cameras? We all heard the same story. They're calling them license plate readers, but they do a lot more than that. Some of them have the microphone turned on. Some of them are scanning faces. Some of them are picking up the Bluetooth in your car so they know where your phone is. Like, it's a whole thing. But no one is talking about their actual name. A group of fish is called a school. A group of snakes is usually called a den or a pit. A group of bats is called a colony. A group of sheep is called a flock. So people are wondering now if flock cameras are a play on words, calling you sheep that need to be herded.
Flock cameras are old news. The new one they're using is called Signal Trace. It's basically an add-on for these license plate reader cameras. And what it does is it takes every signal from every device in your car as you drive past it and logs it. It builds a profile of all of your devices and the devices of anyone who's in the car with you. It can detect any kind of electronic signal, but it particularly uses Bluetooth. So it can track everything that uses Bluetooth down to your tire pressure sensor. In order to avoid this signal trace technology, here is what you should not do. Do not buy a car older than 2008 that does not have an infotainment system or Bluetooth tire pressure sensor.
As you can see from those clips, those videos, things being passed around social media right now especially, the sense is that most of us just don't like this. And if you look around the streets, folks destroying these things, knocking them down, disabling them. Of course, we're not advocating for any of that. But this is what happens when government pushes too far. When you end up with things being put in place that were never voted for, and installing a security state that violates the Fourth Amendment. So this isn't something that we take lightly, but at the same time, the best thing we can do is use our voices, make this clear that this needs to change, and learn more about exactly what it is they're doing to us. So with that, Jacob, let me put the question to you. What's Flock all about anyways?
Well, flock cameras were introduced and sold to the public as just license plate readers to help police officers catch criminals who do bad things. If somebody steals your car, they can go up on Flock and pull it up, and they'll find your car in 20 minutes instead of 20 days. That's what it was sold to us as, and it has gone way further than that. The proliferation of all the cameras in the country have created what's called a dragnet. And a dragnet's in store. It as you drive by, it takes a picture of your car and it fingerprints it. It scans it for scratches, dents, stickers, luggage racks, step sides, whatever. And then it catalogs all that information, and then it can track you every time you go by one of those cameras, depending on how the length of time that it took you to go from one camera to the next. It can actually predict roads that you took to go there. And they're basically being used by law enforcement to basically come in for investigations. They're being used in place of investigation. And this is leading to numerous people being accused of crimes they didn't commit, people actually going to jail for crimes they didn't commit, and it's becoming an extremely horrendous due process issue.
Jacob, I sent you an article today about a lady who got arrested in one state, sent to another state, sat in jail for 2 months. Did you catch that link from me by any chance?
It was Angela Lips, and she actually sat in North Dakota jail for 5 months. She was in Tennessee, and then the Clearview AI system the police used told them that she was a bank robber in Fargo, North Dakota. I think it's one of the two Dakotas, Fargo, North Dakota. And then they kept her in jail for 5 months. And when they found out it wasn't her, They didn't apologize. They just let her out of the jail with her Tennessee summer clothes in North Dakota winter. And no money, no ride, no phone call, no nothing. And they just left her to her own devices.
So this was ID. It was ID'd by this. The camera system made the judgment call that she's to be arrested.
Yep, it said
Basically.
she was 100% her. And the marshals came in, kicked her door down while she was babysitting her grandbabies. Came in guns hot and took her to North Dakota. She's like my grandma. My grandma, she doesn't go anywhere. Like the farthest she's gone from her house in 90 years has been like 100 miles. And so they took her, 1,000 miles away to Dakota, and that was that. I mean, she hadn't even filed a lawsuit yet, as far as I know.
So we already have innocent victims. This is terrible. I've heard stories of people across the country that have had similar instances, but not jailed like that. That's insane. Flock cameras, as I understand, use AI technology to kind of scan the car, catalog dents and scrapes and bumps and all that good stuff on it. And then they also use these skimmers to skim IP addresses, Wi-Fi signals, everything else that your car radiates, basically, looking into your car with devices, looking into your kids' devices, your devices, and tracking all that information as well. This seems like an invasion of privacy. Is that not common sense?
Well, it's 100% invasion of privacy, and there's a couple of court cases that came out. I forgot the names of them. I can pull them up here while I'm talking about it. And it's the two court cases against geolocation dragnetting and using Google's Maps data to dragnet an area and figure out who was there and when they were there. It's a huge invasion of privacy. Right now, the courts have ruled that it's not considered a dragnet because there's not enough of the flock cameras to make that case. But that's just saying a couple more cameras and we're in a dragnet.
I mean, if I hear you right, man, what you're telling me is that there's bad actors, but there's a whole lot more good folks out there. So all the good folks are being caught up in this whole scanning system with the cameras and these capture devices to track us everywhere because there's a few bad people doing bad stuff. So they're taking away our rights. I mean, this is obviously a security thing, but how secure do we really need to be? I mean, freedom and security, there's a balance in that, right?
You have a lot of casuals out there who, the sheriff likes to use the flock system to go catch somebody who stole the petty cash out of the Crabs restaurant, and then he catches them real quick with it, and he makes sure to put that out there. So now you got all the normies who are like, oh my gosh, it's keeping us so much safer. And all it really did was make sure the restaurant got their petty cash back a day faster.
Hey, Jacob, I got a question for you. How
Yeah.
did you get involved in this? What's your story?
Well, my story for the flock systems, really, I've been a constitutionalist since 2012. And I've really not liked the flock system, but what really got me into my activism against it was getting an AI red light camera ticket when I wasn't even in the state at the time. So they sent me a ticket in the mail for running a red light, and I wasn't even in Florida at the time that happened. So that pretty much set me on this path.
How long's that been going on?
The red light system they have here is about 2 years old, and the flock system is about they pretty much just regurgitated the entire AI surveillance apparatus all at the same time here.
I'm trying to wrap my head around this because it sounds like that throwing the baby out with the bathwater scenario. We've got more good people than there are people doing bad stuff. But the solution they put in targets all people, not the small number of people that are actually doing bad things. So we all lose our liberties to some degree because of this. And that's what's ridiculous, that we should not be losing our liberties because there's a few people doing bad things. It's punishing all of us for the sins of a few. I know you're working on things in your area right now about how many cameras are you dealing with, in your local situation there, and how much security is just too much security and we lose our freedom in the process.
Well, if I could chime in, there's a cartoon out there somewhere that if you want total security, where you're fed and housed and cleaned and all that, it's called being in prison.
Mm-hmm. Or a public school.
Yeah.
The specific flock systems, there's about 42 of them. 30, 30, 28 to 36 of them, I believe, are owned by the government, and the rest are private contracts with HOAs, and those we really can't do anything about. HOA wants to put a flock camera on their property. That's that's their right. But public property is different. Like when they start putting them on public property now, I gotta say, like I have a little graphic on my Facebook page that explains that perfectly. We got right here, like your five, why this is different. Citizens have rights and the government has limits. You can watch the government. That's your First Amendment right. People can record public officials in public, and that's called accountability. Government cannot watch everyone. They are restricted by the Fourth Amendment. See, it's got the little dude right here tracking your location through the flock cameras, where you went, what time you went there, what route you took, and any kind of stalker that gets in this information, they can get your daily routine like that. So, and then government should not build a searchable database of where innocent people go, because that is surveillance. Your camera watching the state is liberty. The state's camera watching everyone is power. I think every single public employee's email should be streamed to Twitch, so you can see their inbox as it's live, like what they're saying when they respond, who's emailing them. Their text messages should be streamed, everything.
You're talking about our public servants?
Yeah, what are those?
Our servants, really? Huh.
Lords of the Thief.
Gosh.
There is no way, shape, or form mass surveillance through AI apparatuses can be congruent with the Fourth Amendment whatsoever. Like it's just it's black and white, yin and yang. They're opposites of each other, and it just won't go together. As far as I know, that I don't think any municipalities actually voted on this, or if they have, it got shut down or something. I think I read one county somewhere did it, but as far as I know, it's just mayors and police chiefs. Look at any technological advancement in our history, human history, the wheel, the steam engine, the combustion engine going from horses to cars. There was a trickle that went through economically and politically to where, overnight, everyone didn't stop using horses and started driving cars. That happened over 30, 40, 50-year period. Well, now we're in the age of do it now, instant gratification. These politicians wanting to make their mark on society, and they're just throwing it all out at us at once and saying and daring us to do something about it.
Well, on that note right there, I've got a question for you, Jacob. What is the future lawsuit-wise and litigation-wise with the consumers, the public per se, versus our government agencies on the use of these cameras? What do you think? What's on the horizon?
Well, there's plenty of lawsuits going on right now against the flock systems. And you also have several Congress people. I think Anna Paulina Luna, I think that's her name. It's one of those. It's those three words in some order. She is introducing legislation to ban flock cameras in the country. So there's some things going on. I think the ACLU's fighting them in the Supreme Court. It's just the matter of getting flock to be categorized as geofencing.
Do you think there was anything nefarious regarding how these camera systems came to be in terms of where the money went? Once these systems were procured, if you will, on government contracts, do you think there was anything strange going on as to how they went up so quickly without any resistance from the public, that it was kind of done in a stealth-like manner between, with the governments?
I don't think there was any shadow lobbyists going around stuffing money envelopes in people's pockets or anything like that. I just think that, what you have is you have sheriffs and police chiefs that have to run for their office, and a lot of their job has to do with criminal statistics, and any tool that they can get to lower those statistics, regardless of the Constitution, regardless of anybody's civil rights, they're going to go for it if they can.
Is it working?
Are the cameras working?
For the cops, for the police, are they seeing any kind of net result, any studies, any data, anything where they could say, see guys, we're making the world a safer place to lose your liberties? I made the last part up, of course.
I haven't seen any data that come out that says that, crime statistics have dropped, but crime data is 4 or 5 years behind. So you won't really know until 4 years from now if, they're right. And I don't really care if they're right because, like y'all said, safety versus freedom, and I'm choosing freedom every time. I got guns right over here. That's going to keep me safe. If I really feel like I'm going to get victimized, I can get body armor. There's steps I can take. So, we don't need big daddy government coming in and nanny stating us, changing our diapers and feeding us and doing everything for us while we, just let them do it.
Point. Good point.
I mean, how many innocent people ended up in jail that your system misidentified versus this? Because those statistics will never be paid for. Just don't be violent. Don't be destructive to property. They're trying to hit people with 18 years in prison for cutting these cameras down and stuff in some of these places. It's not worth you losing your freedom to cut a camera down and stuff. We can get them stopped in the local governments. They actually are being stopped at all levels of the government. So, this isn't a dire situation where we are being taxed without representation and we need a Boston Tea Party.
Are you going to lead that fight, Jacob, to get them removed?
That's what I'm doing. I go up there every chance I get. There's a whole bunch of us here in town that just go against them. You look up Larry Downs Jr. He's a big libertarian activist here in town, and he calls them flock of sheep, flock of shit. So y'all thank y'all for having me, and y'all stay frosty, Patriots.
So what do you guys think? This is something that kind of cropped up on me. I don't know about you, but suddenly it seemed like this was just everywhere. And I know it had to been going on for a while. I mean, they had to be putting these things up for a long time. And I'm just really curious why the public wasn't as aware as we are now. Why did it have to get to this point of people being unfairly accused, jailed in some cases? Why did it have to rise to this level? Why couldn't this have been solved sooner? And why didn't they bring this to us to begin with, to vote on? City councils, I'm talking to you. Mayors, talking to you too. Police chiefs, think about what you're doing, because I know you guys are freedom-loving men and women. So let's think about what we're doing here, okay? Let's think about the citizens of this country, because we on the whole are good folks, and we don't deserve this kind of treatment. I think you guys can agree with that. I think I agree with that. I said it, so I must. But Rocket Rob definitely agrees with it, and so does Jacob. These are great patriots, both of them, and we do this to inform you. So hopefully you guys take a good message from this, and that security doesn't equal freedom. Freedom and security fight each other, but there has to be a balance point. And when it tips the balance too far one way, that's when you and me and all good patriots, Americans around the country, not Republicans, not Democrats, just Americans, we rise up together because we all can agree that flock cameras, tracking people, invading our privacy, it don't work. God bless you guys. Remember, keep leaning on each other.
Welcome to Centrist Radicals with Captain Kevin and Rocket Rob, where common sense and common ground are radical ideas.